Right. So, welcome. Hi, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or wherever you are joining us from. We're so excited to be launching the next online MCLS event. We were, of course, hoping that this would be in person this year, but we'll wait another year and see each other's faces online a little bit longer and look forward to our next meeting, which will for sure be in person unless we've hit the Zeta strain that is inevitably coming. But so today we just wanted to take a couple minutes to kind of officially say hello, get a chance to see each other's faces again. This is the first of weekly events that we're going to have. It's going to kind of move a little bit like last year, where we have alternating times for events. We'll have symposia, we'll have lightning talks, we'll have workshops. We'll try some new things. We will keep up with some old things that worked. And we are hopeful that it's going to be an even better attended, even better conference series this year than last year. I realize that everyone is kind of online conferenced out, but hopefully you don't see the weekly MCLS meetings as much as you can attend them as too much of a burden and more of a chance to kind of re-energize and see friendly faces rather than sit in a face-off conference setting for 3 days straight and feel exhausted by the end. So just to get started, we wanted to make a couple announcements. So a little bit of an overview for how we are going to run things today. I want to make a couple announcements, including introducing the new members of our trainee board. We also are having a runoff election for the position of communications chair. So I will allow each person to briefly introduce themselves. We're going to have some comments by Martha, the current president of the MCLS governing board. And then we'll get a chance to chat a little bit. We're going to kind of do some breakout rooms, think of it as a coffee break, and get a chance to talk to each other and just feel the excitement of mathematical cognition and learning. Hopefully doing that in the middle of July, where people are already talking about the summer being over, even though it's really only half over, will hopefully not feel like the world is ending. So first, I wanted to give a chance to our new board members to introduce themselves. So because of the weird starting point of the MCLS trainee board, things were running on, we had half of our positions on a 1-year cycle, half of our positions on a 2-year cycle. From this point on, all MCLS trainee board members will be serving a 2-year cycle. Those will be alternating. So we're really sad to be saying goodbye to our first round of trainee board members. Rebecca Merkley, who I don't know if she's here. Hi, Rebecca. Bye, Rebecca. Dana Miller-Cotto and Rebecca Merkley share the position of policy and practice chair. They were absolutely invaluable to the starting the first ever trainee board. So we love them and appreciate them, and we're sad to, I say see them go, but we're going to keep them on for as much as we possibly can. And I've already recruited them to several other MCLS initiatives. So they're not actually going anywhere. Venera Gassage, I don't know that she's here, was our initial communications chair. And we're really sad that she is moving on to, again, be inevitably dragged into more MCLS things. And Julia Bahnmueller, who was the other co-president with me, and really one of the voices who got the MCLS trainee board started. None of this would have happened without Julia, but we are moving her to our initial past president position. We haven't decided how long that's going to be, so she might just be advising the MCLS trainee board forever. Julia, I don't know if you wanted to say anything or if I should just gesture vaguely in your direction.
Don't have to say much, but just thank you for your kind words again, Andy. I think thank you to all the other members that are still on the board. Happy to see the new ones coming in, but I'm sure it's just going to be as awesome as it has been in the last year, I think. Thank you.
Awesome, and we're really glad to have you as an advisory member and past president. We will definitely take all of your advice and any time that you can give to the MCLS, we will love and appreciate. So we have two new board members. Brianna Devlin is going to be our new policy and practice chair. So I wanted to give her a chance to say hello.
Hey everybody, I'm Brianna Devlin. Yeah, I'm just finishing up my PhD. Just finished up my PhD at the University of Delaware in Education and Learning Sciences, where I worked with Nancy Jordan, and I'm transitioning to a postdoc position at Purdue, where I'll be working with Sarah Schmidt. And I'm really excited about this position. I've had opportunities over my time at UD to work with educators and to learn a lot about disseminating research broadly to both academic and non-academic audiences. So it's something I'm really hoping to bring to this position and continue to provide, because the MCLS Training Board has done such a great job, opportunities for trainees to learn more about policy and thinking about how research impacts practice and vice versa. So I'm really excited for the position. Thank you.
Thanks, Bree. We're super excited to work with you. And Alexa Ellis is going to be our other new co-president. Alexa.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Alexa. I'm a postdoc at Purdue. I'm also very excited to join this awesome trainee board. It's been so nice getting to interact with everyone virtually, but I'm also super excited to see everyone in person in 2022, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Awesome. So we're really excited. I think we might have to have something added to the bylaws of the number of people who can be at Purdue at a given time on the trainee board, since I'm a little worried that like David might just poach up each person as they're coming up. It's probably inevitably going to offer Bella a postdoc, and then she'll be there. And we won't go too far into that. So we're really excited to have a new trainee board, but we're still missing a position. So we do have a runoff election for the role of communications chair, which obviously is a pretty big role insofar as they're going to be primarily in charge of the emails that go out. Yes, Renee says David and Barrett are going to collectively have all of MCLS in their departments. So we have 3 people running for the role of communications chair. We wanted to give each person a chance to introduce themselves and kind of put a face to the name. We're going to be launching that election today. I've almost finished the Qualtrics. I meant to do it this morning and didn't get fully done. So Damla, did you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, sure. Hello, everyone. I'm from Turkey, but I'm doing my PhD at the Göttingen University in Germany. And by the time currently I am working as a math teacher in Istanbul and leaving because of the pandemic period. And I find this community while I was searching, a community, especially for the cognitive sides of the mathematics, and I feel very happy for that, Googling your society. And I think it's very important for expanding and reaching the more people who are interested in cognitive parts of the mathematics. And so I feel really excited with you. Thank you.
Thanks, Damla. And Sarah Pan, I saw your name. If you wanted to introduce yourself.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah. I am a grad student at the University of Minnesota. I work with Michelle Mazzacco, so I'm sort of new to the whole math world, but I'm very excited. It's been a really great first COVID year. Yeah, and it's really nice to meet you all and to be a part of the society, either as the chair or even just as a member. So thank you.
Awesome. And Raychel Gordon.
Hi, I'm Rachel. I work with Dr. Geeta Ramani over at UMD. So I am not a postdoc at Purdue, but I am ABD, so who knows? So I've been in the math world for a couple of years and a part of MCLS for a while, do those 8 a.m. writing groups twice a week. So I'm excited to be more involved if possible as a chair, or just keep getting up twice a week to write with all of the MCLS peeps and see you all in person soon. So yeah, that's all I got, Andy, unless you want anything more from us.
That's great. And as with everything MCLS, we love and appreciate our governing board and trainee board, but we are also try to be as inclusionary a group as possible. And so we love any feedback, any thoughts, any ideas, comments, compliments, insults, directed our way. If anyone has ideas, wants to take charge of something, lead something, see something happen in the MCLS, we are fully supportive of that, and you don't have to have a title attached to your name in order to do that. And if at any time anyone wants to take the microphone from me because I talk too much, you are more than welcome to comment that and do that as well. I'm sure the rest of the trainee board is sick of hearing my voice. So yeah, always feel free to email us, tweet us, DM us, whatever. But we are not just an organization made up by our trainees, much as I would like to think that we are. So while the trainee board is also part of the governing board, our governing board is currently led by Martha Alibali, who I would love to introduce and have her say a couple words.
Excellent. Thank you, Andy. So it's my privilege to be here and to be the chair of the governing board at this time. And just to start, I'd like to offer a huge thank you to the team that organized last year's very successful online conference series that includes Andy Ribner, Julia Bahnmueller, Bella Starling-Alves, Ise Coolen, Rebecca Merkley, Dana Miller-Cotto, and Venera Gashaj. Thanks to all of you. This is a great way to keep our community together. And so I'd like to offer another big thank you to the team that's organizing this year's series. It worked well and we're doing it again. So again, Andy Ribner, Ise Coolen, Bella Starling-Alves, Daniel Ansari, Judith Wiley, Flavia Santos, Victoria Sims, and Colleen Ganley. I know some of you were planning to organize an in-person conference and this is much different, but we're grateful for the work that you're doing. So as chair of the society, I just would like to take this opportunity to offer a few thoughts about the Mathematical Cognition and Learning Society, and specifically about the importance of MCLS at this moment in time. As we all have experienced in recent months and over the past couple of years, we're living in a time of intense social challenge and social change. Over the past year and a half, lots of things have happened. We've begun to confront racial injustice in our educational institutions and in our society more broadly. We've witnessed attacks on our democratic institutions. We faced a pandemic that's still ongoing, that's affected many of us in very deep ways. We've experienced substantial changes in our educational practices and in the way that we use technology in education and in learning. And all of these are realms in which mathematics plays an important and critical role. So every day in my work and in my day-to-day life with my family, I encounter many reminders of the importance of mathematical cognition and mathematical learning for engaging in our society, and of the great need for the kind of work that we as members of this society do. So I believe that understanding mathematical cognition matters at this time more than ever, because there are many, many questions about mathematical cognition and learning that are very pressing at this time. I'm gonna just toss out a few, but there are many, many more. And so I just wanna say some that come to mind as I reflect about the importance of mathematical cognition and learning now. So first, how do people evaluate and communicate quantitative information about critical real-world issues? Issues like data about racial disparities in policing, or data about the incidence of illness, or data about shifts in temperature and shifts in precipitation. How do people interpret probabilities, such as the probability of becoming ill in different circumstances, or the probability of experiencing side effects from a medication or a vaccine? How do different ways of representing quantitative data influence how people reason with that data? And furthermore, how do different ways of representing numbers more broadly influence the ways that people reason with those numbers? How do people, including, for example, our legislators, understand and evaluate very large numbers, like the numbers that they encounter in budget proposals, and use those numbers in their decision-making? And can we use mathematics to determine whether our legislative districts have been drawn in fair ways? Can we determine using numerical or geometric criteria, can we use those kinds of criteria to guide this determination? And then turning to learning and education, are there certain practices for teaching mathematics in online kinds of settings that are more effective than others? How can, for example, how can we promote mathematical discussions and conceptual knowledge in online spaces? And how can we address the differences in learning trajectories that children are experiencing at this time due to shifts in the educational practices that the pandemic has imposed? And how do children who bring different backgrounds and abilities to the table experience those learning opportunities that are available for mathematics learning at the present time? These are only a few of the questions about mathematical cognition and learning that are highlighted by our current social conditions. There are many, many other important questions. I just want to highlight, a few of the things where mathematical thinking, where understanding mathematical thinking can really help us make sense of the world as we experience it and as it's undergoing change at this moment in history. So these questions raise the broader issue of what kinds of mathematical cognition research we need at the present time. And I think, of course, that we need a diversity of research on a range of topics and populations. But I'd just like to highlight a few suggestions and just encourage you to reflect on this question in your own work about what is needed, what we need to understand mathematical cognition and learning right now at this moment in our history. So I would suggest that we need to understand how people use mathematics and reason with mathematics in real world settings and to solve real world problems. And we need to understand the richness of mathematical thinking in varied social settings and in varied cultural contexts. We need to understand processes of mathematical learning and how they're shaped and how they in turn shape technology and social structures and cultural practices. We also need to understand how learners' mathematical identities and attitudes form and how they change with experience. We need to understand and develop ways to support and enhance children's and adults' mathematical thinking in both formal settings and informal educational settings. And we need to understand the range of trajectories of mathematics learning and the factors that can shape and alter those trajectories. So how can we best address these sorts of questions as a field as a whole, and as the Mathematical Cognition and Learning Society, as a body of scholars and practitioners who care about these issues? So I would suggest that we need to strengthen our scholarly community by inviting in and elevating voices that have not always been heard in our community. We need to conduct research on mathematical thinking as it applies to these pressing real-world problems, things like racial inequities, disparities in learning opportunities, climate change, and gerrymandering. We need to build stronger ties with scholars and practitioners in related fields whose work relies on and influences mathematical cognition and learning, including mathematics educators and mathematics education researchers, and also science journalists and others who communicate quantitative information on a regular basis, and who communicate about mathematical cognition to the broader community. And we need to support one another in the best ways that we can to engage in the best and most impactful scholarly work on mathematical cognition and learning, and to disseminate our work broadly. And to do that, I think we also need to create opportunities for students and for early career scholars to develop their research programs and to receive mentoring and support. So up to now, our society has been very lean in its organizational structure, and we've not had very many standing committees. But to help us address these goals, the MCLS board at their meeting in May has decided to establish 2 standing committees. One is an Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Committee, and the other is a Strategic Planning Committee. So the Strategic Planning Committee will be led by the current society chair, that's me for the moment, and it will include the past chair, Daniel Ansari, and the incoming chair, David Purpura. And it will also include the leaders of the trainee board, Andy Ribner and Alexa Ellis. Alexa, I don't know if you knew this would be one of your duties, but we hope you'll be willing to join us. And I'm also happy to announce that the Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Committee will be chaired by MCLS board member Erin Maloney, who's here with us on the call. So thank you, Erin, a huge thank you for taking on that role. So if you would be interested in being part of the Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Committee, or if you have ideas or suggestions or recommendations for either of these committees, I encourage you to contact me or to contact Erin Maloney or to contact the leaders of the trainee board. We are very open to hearing your feedback and suggestions about the direction of our society and about things we can do to make our society more inclusive and to elevate voices that need to be heard and that we've not always been hearing over the history of our field and of our experience. So I'd also in this moment like to really commend the training board, which has recently launched a mentoring program for early career scholars. This is something really terrific that I'm very excited that we're beginning. And I'm hopeful that as this moves forward, that it will open opportunities for many people to take part, both as mentors and as mentees. And finally, I'd like to commend all of those who've worked tirelessly to put together this conference that we're starting today. I'm hoping that this set of meetings will provide a venue in which we can share and critique each other's work in ways that will promote stronger and better work for all of us. So we're about to embark on another year of our conference meetings being online. But as we've already heard, next year, if all goes well, we'll be meeting in person. And I believe the plan is for us to meet in Ghent, Belgium, from June 1st to 3rd, 2022. So put it on your calendar. I'd like to thank the organizing committee for that meeting. And I believe the membership of that committee is Wim Fias, Bert Reenvoet, Bert de Smet, Mauro Pezzenti, Marie-Pascale Noël, Wim Gavers, and Jean-Philippe Van Dijk. So I'm excited to see you all here today, and I hope to see you all in Belgium in 2022. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Martha. I cannot wait to be in person and drink a beer with every person here in Belgium, or at least eat fries. A couple other things. Waffles, yes, thank you, Caroline. So Thank you, Martha, for mentioning the mentorship program. This has been a bit of my brainchild of Ise Coolen, who has been working on organizing that. So I wanted to give her a second to say hello and to introduce the program. We're, of course, always looking for new people as new people come into the MCLS and are looking for mentorship opportunities from kind of whatever side and whatever angle they want to come at it from.
Thank you, Andy. So I don't have much to say. I just want to say that I hope that everybody's mentoring is going well. I really enjoy my mentoring. It's really nice to talk to a buddy and just also hearing how they like it as well. It does a lot of good. So with that being said, every year there's going to be new people. Every month there might be new people, so you can always sign up. You just need to send an email or reach out through Twitter or any way possible, and then we can put you in the list, and then we'll try to match you as soon as possible with somebody. So I hope everybody's reaching out to their mentor or mentee or buddy. So this is a small reminder as well, like if you haven't yet this month, it would be great to do so. And then, do you want to say something else, Andy, or should we start socializing?
The only other thing that I wanted to say is that just like last year, we're going to kind of jump straight into to the program for this year. So we haven't released a full program yet because we're still waiting on people to respond to the scheduling and trying to figure out what we're going to put into a couple missing weeks. So this is your reminder. If you haven't responded to the scheduling form, please make sure to do that. But we do know that next week we are going to have a symposium titled Emotions and Self-Perceptions Toward Mathematics, New Insights from Large Data Sets, led by Sarah Caviola, will be happening next Friday, which is July 23rd at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern time, which is 4 p.m. British Summer Time. So we're really excited about that. And then we're gonna have a week of lightning talks. We'll let you know if you are expected to present your lightning talk in that time. Today, we'll send out those emails that's Thursday, July 29th at 9 a.m. Eastern. So that's the same time. And then we'll keep people updated on the schedule as we move forward. So we're excited to be getting those scheduled again. Does anyone else have anything that they want to say? Any thoughts, ideas, or should we do some breakout rooms, make it a bit of a coffee break? Phenomenal. Great. So I realize that some people are going to have to go at various points. That's fine. We're going to have Ise lead or organize some breakout rooms. I'm sure you're going to see a lot of familiar faces. I'm sure you're going to meet some new faces. It would be great if people are happy to turn on their video and kind of get a chance to meet each other or catch up after having not seen each other for a few months or longer. And I will turn it back to Ise.